Alright, right here we have Caesar weed. Now this can be used to dry this stem out here. You can dry this out, use it as a hand drill, or eat the leaves. It's really a famine food. It's not that good. If you ever see some, just take your tongue and touch it to the back of this, and you'll find out why. It's got a funny texture to it. The young blossoms can be eaten, and what we're going to do is use this to make a hand drill. I'm going to dry it out. Caesar weed. Alright, there is one fern in South Florida that you can get your hands on and get a little bit of water and a little bit of nutrient, carbohydrate, starches. Sword fern has a little bulb on the bottom of it. It has some hairs. You can rub them hairs off, put it in your mouth, chew it, suck the water right out, or you can go home and roast it like a chestnut. It'd be just like a water chestnut. Okay? This is a sword fern. Notice how it's a little skinnier. It's not like a lot of ferns that are wide. That's what you're looking for. Looks kind of like a sword. That's the name. So if you ever see one of these, look for them tubers. If they have the tubers, then you're good to go. I'll try to throw a picture up of one. Sword fern. If you're ever around any Australian pines, you see that red sap there? Okay, you can drink that straight. That's a good way to quench your thirst. Now, the best way isn't to get it in the bark. I just wanted to show you, you actually dig up the roots, and that's the best way to get the water from it. And this is what they look like. Here's the bark. Okay, I'm going to show you a younger tree to show you the branchlets. Okay, you see how there's sections in there like that? It's a good way to tell you got an Australian pine. It's not a pine, but you can actually cook these young branchlets here too. So, if you ever need famine food, these can be eaten. If you're ever looking for a delicious little nibble on the trail, you might find this guy all around. It's called a coco plum. Here's a little unripe fruit. Okay, there's not too many ripe ones right now. I'm just going to give you an idea with the unripes, and I found one that's almost there. Okay, look at the leaves here. Kind of oval, like an egg. That's what you're looking for. Now notice that the point's towards the leaf, and then the round tip on the outside. That's what you're going to look for. See them veins? Okay. The bark can look like this with the little lichens that get on it, or this is the natural bark right there. That's what it looks like. Smooth, brown, little blotch on it. Okay, now here's one berry. It's just about ripe. Now, when it's fully white, that's a ripe berry, or red, or purple, like almost black. And that means they're ripe. You can eat them. Now, the inside's real white, fleshy. Okay, you can make a jelly out of this, or jam. And there's one seed kernel on the inside, and you can eat that too. And it tastes really good. It tastes you kind of have to experience it for yourself, but very kernely, I guess. And you got to chew it up real good because it's kind of fibery, but it is really good. See, and it's kind of a slimy, fleshy texture, but it is really a really good trailside nibble. It's delicious. They're pretty big berries, and it's fun to gather them and make some jelly too. Okay, that's the coco plum. You'll see that all over out here. Alright, another favorite tree of mine that is actually an invasive species, and they're trying to get rid of it because it spreads like crazy, and it sucks up water in all the areas and then takes over, and it starts fires because it's called the paper bark tree, or Melaleuca, which is the real name. And this bark here, I showed you in my primitive fire, one of my primitive fire videos, that this is great tinder. It works very well, and you can make some cool things out of it. You know, you get these big sheets and you can take it home and press it with an iron and turn it into something cool. I've done it with a couple pieces, just hanging on your wall. And the leaves of this tree, let me see if I can get in on them here. Try to find you a smaller one too. Okay, that's what they look like. They're kind of long like that. Okay. that fuzz growing on that batch there, that shows you have a Melaleuca. And these leaves, if you chew them and just swallow the juice, it can alleviate a headache. But they've done studies and saying that it could be cancerous and all that, but it's, you know, I'm sure that's in high doses. Sorry about the wind too. But Melaleuca is a very useful tree. You can make a decoction of the bark to get the oils, because it has oils, and if you burn this in your camp on your clothes, you can use it as a smoke bath, or you can use it to repel mosquitoes. It works very well for that. When you smell the leaves, you'll know you have it because it's very aromatic, you know, similar to wax myrtle, which is right here next to it. Okay. So next time you see Melaleuca, go ahead and do some experiments. That right there would be a pennywort. Now, gathering this, you need to be careful where you're sticking your hands. This is a little pointer. Let's see, I'm sure there's some here. Yep. There's lots of poison ivy around here. Okay. So it's not, you gotta be careful when gathering things, because you don't need to add that to your problems. So go ahead and find some pennyworts out here. Highly nutritious. But this is good stuff to have. You can make a tea, you can eat it raw, you can cook it like we're gonna. Alright, you'll find this tree here. This is the juniper, or eastern red cedar. Okay, you see it does grow berries. It's a little different than the white cedar like up north. Okay, these leaves are a little different. Now they can be pointy. Some juniper trees have just pointy leaves. And now these berries though, medicinally they can help with diabetes, and they're used to make gin. The mature green berries can be used to make the gin, and the mature blueberries, like this one here, can be used to flavor game, like your meats and stuff. It can also be used as a bow drill for bow drill fires, but you're not going to find it in the wild, so it's more up north where you're going to use this. But it does work well, and it's also known as the eastern red cedar, and that's the juniper tree.